Britain's King Charles III and the Queen Consort have arrived in London and have met with well-wishers outside Buckingham Palace. They've returned to the capital from the Balmoral Castle in Scotland following the death of Queen Elizabeth II at her home yesterday. She was 96 years old earlier today. A 96-gun salute sounded across London, signifying her 96 years. Well, there have been many tributes across the United Kingdom today, and as you saw in those visuals just now, ordinary members of the public laying flowers at Buckingham Palace as they pay tribute to the departed Queen Elizabeth II. My colleague, that's our UK correspondent, Olly Barrat, joining us now for the latest updates. Olly, good afternoon again. What is the latest you can tell us about the preparations for King Charles III to address the British people at 7 o'clock tonight?
Well, we are told by Buckingham Palace that that broadcast will go out, as you say, 7 o'clock South Africa time, 6 p.m. here local time in the UK. And Buckingham Palace, in describing the broadcast, talks about it being an address to the nation and the Commonwealth. Now, that's a small detail, but an important one nonetheless, that the palace continues in the same way that it did when the Queen was the head of state, was the monarch, to try and include the Commonwealth in absolutely every piece of communication wherever possible. It was so important to the Queen, and clearly we are getting very early messages that it's also very important to King Charles III, and I think we can expect, Dan, that the Commonwealth will feature heavily in that address from King Charles later on. We do expect that it will be pre-recorded, so probably happening around now, actually, that recording, and then we expect to hear it go out pretty much spot on 7 p.m. South Africa time, 6 p.m. UK time. It's obviously a very important moment for King Charles and for the people that he's talking to. The first address as monarch. He will want to make sure that he can set the tone for the beginning of his reign, and also set the tone in terms of how he talks to the people of Britain, but also the people of the Commonwealth. I'm sure that some of the themes will not just include the Commonwealth, but will include duty and service in the same way that we often heard from his mother, and I'm sure we will also hear a tribute to his mother as well in that address.
Yeah, he has described her passing as a saddest occasion. But tell us now about the preparations. Is there any clarity about the way ahead? I mean, Britain is in mourning currently. Some sports organizations have cancelled events this weekend. Entertainers as well stepping back in honor of the departed Queen.
That's right. Now, the government is making it clear that actually most things can just go ahead as planned, but some things are being cancelled. The Premier League has decided to postpone fixtures this weekend. Some other sporting bodies have decided to go ahead. South Africa and England will be playing cricket over the weekend, for example. In terms of preparations, there's still quite a lot of detail to work out. We know a lot about what's going to happen over the coming days, but there are just quite a few bits of logistics and dates and timings that aren't quite set in stone yet. The funeral, for example, of the Queen, we don't yet have a firm date for that. We also know that that is going to be a very difficult operation logistically, partly just because of the huge amount of people that could potentially be invited to that event. Westminster Abbey can only host so many foreign dignitaries, and we've seen with the tributes that have been paid to the Queen from all corners of the earth, really, just how many people, how many politicians, how many leaders have been in contact with the Queen over her 70-year reign, and therefore might feel entitled to be there for that service whenever it does indeed take place. There's also the policing operation that is underway. We've heard from the London Metropolitan Police today that they have extra patrols in place. They want a high visibility presence on the streets of London with so many people going to Buckingham Palace to pay their tributes. It's similar here in Windsor as well, a very visible policing presence as people make their way to the castle to leave flowers and pay their tributes. And we expect those numbers of people here in Windsor only to grow over the weekend. And so there is lots still to be done. Some of those details are still being worked out, as I say. Some of it is following very well-laid plans that have gone back a number of years.
Thank you very much. Olly Barrat, our UK correspondent in London there, not far from Buckingham Palace there, giving us a little bit, from Windsor Castle, just giving us a little bit of a sense of what's happening on the ground there. Of course, they are expecting the new monarch, King Charles III, to address them 6 o'clock London time. That will be 7 o'clock here. Now,